My ex-girlfriend, 25F, broke up with me because I, 24F, can't give her a baby naturally. So, I've been best friends with this girl. Let's call her Lexi. For around 3 years. She had never been with a girl before or ever expressed interest to me in woman. Anywho, Lexi and I started hanging out every single this past year. It was like clockwork. Every night after her serving shift, she would come over and either stay over or we would stay up talking super late. There was times I would walk her to her car so she could go home. But then we would end up talking for hours in her car. Lo and behold, I found myself falling in love with her. We would call each other multiple times a day, spend every moment we could with each other, text constantly, call each other good night, basically acting like a couple. I eventually realized I couldn't keep this up. So I told her I had feelings for her. I was worried of ruining our friendship. But I realized it was sort of already ruined if I couldn't be honest with her about how I felt. What's crazy is that Lexi, with tears in her eyes, had feelings for me too. We took some time after that, but we ended up dating for about 8 months. I was happy. She loved me, and I loved her. Her family loved me. My family loved her. I started saving up money for a future with her. We both dreamed of having kids in the future. And artificial insemination is not cheap. I saved up to $50,000 in a separate savings account for our future home. I had mentioned this to her in one of our conversations, and she didn't seem to be fazed. A few weeks after this, she breaks up with me because she has always wanted to conceive a child naturally and doesn't see herself with a woman because of this. She told me that she has never loved anyone the way that she loves me. But her dream is to be a mother, and because I'm a woman, I can't impregnate her. She says this all with tears in her eyes. And I'm incredibly heartbroken. I love her and I want her to be happy. But I can't help but still have a hope for us. She wants to remain best friends. And I honestly don't want to lose her. I don't know what to think or do. I love her so much. And I know she loves me. Her last statement to me was, "I'm scared that I just lost my soulmate." That broke me. I'm conflicted. I know being friends with her long term is probably not going to be the best for me. But I really don't want to lose her in my life. Reddit. What should I do? Should I create some space between the two of us? Or continue in a friendship with boundaries that give me reminders that I can never be with her? Distance yourself for right now. Because you can't separate romantic feelings from platonic ones right after your relationship ends with someone. She's made her choice, and you have to let her live with it. It's what she wanted. On a side note though, what is your profession that you can save 50 grand in less than a year, and how do I get one? So she wants to remain friends while you watch her go on her merry way and meet and date men. Possibly marry one. And then have a child. She gets what she wants and you get left by the side of the road. Of course, anyone has the right to break up with someone for any reason. But do you really want to remain close friends with someone who in the future is going to view you as nothing more than a phase they went through? I only want to ask one question. How was you able to save up $50,000 in just 8 months? She sounds too emotionally immature to have a relationship with. Honestly, I lost my soulmate, but I want a Pete Knees to impregnate me. Are there other ways you have seen emotional immaturity with her? I was in a situation just like this. I was best friends with a girl for years, and was afraid to admit my feelings for her in case of ruining the friendship. She had also never been with a girl or given any indication of being gay. But, after a while, she admitted her feelings for me. I was on top of the world. We started dating, and things were a little tricky at times because of our homophobic families, but between us, everything was amazing. But Eventually she approached me and said she couldn't do this anymore. Basically for the same reasons you mentioned in your post, she had a religious upbringing. And so subconsciously she felt very pressured to make the right choices for her future, marry a man, have kids, etc., etc. I was heartbroken and couldn't understand. And here's where my advice for you comes in. Just like you, I desperately wanted her to remain in my life. She was my best friend after all. But every time I saw her was so painful. Literally ripped my heart apart again and again. Finally, I realized as much as it hurt, I needed a boundary with her in my life. I just couldn't have her in my life the same way she used to be. As hard as that was to hear. So, I recommend adding some distance between her and you. Eventually, you might even heal enough to be able to see her more and have her in your life more. But for now, having her in your life will probably hurt a lot more than it would help. With distance, you will be able to sort through your feelings better and focus on healing. Anyways, sending so much love. Pink heart, pink heart, pink heart, pink heart. I know how rough this is and I am so sorry. I think it's her loss, tbh. Why would she want some hypothetical guy to possibly impregnate her one day when you both can choose someone who's genetically superior by sperm donor? Maybe this can rekindle, but it seems to me the mentioning of the money saved made it a bit too real for her, and maybe she was conflicted as you are the first female relationship she's had. I would still be friends, but with clear boundaries like you said. Maybe even a month of waiting before hanging out or talking again. Just tell her it's you she's talking to. Someone she's never held back sharing her feelings before too. So to just speak what's on her mind. If she can't find herself to confide in you anymore as a friend, then I don't think it will be as healthy to keep the connection going. You need to take a break from seeing her and think about everything. Your feelings for her are not on the same page as being just friends. Of course you don't want her out of your life. But are you sure you can stand by and watch her date, marry, and have a family with someone else? Would that other person be okay with you being around knowing your history together? I think for the long run you don't have to cut her out of your life completely. Unless it becomes too painful or it's all around not good for you mentally and emotionally. But it's gonna be a while until you're actually okay seeing her. You should put some space between you, at least until you can get beyond your romantic feelings for her. 8 months and you saved up $50,000? You really need to take a creative writing class, because this sounds as if it were written by a 13-year-old, which you likely are. Sorry you had to experience this op. You seem like a great partner. I'd distance for the sake of your own mental health. Will make it way harder to move on otherwise. Don't put yourself through that torture. It may not feel like it now, but I think you dodged a bullet. This girl is immature and honestly selfish. She needs to figure herself out, and she shouldn't get to drag you down in the process. Leave her be, and go your own way. She's not your soulmate. You dodged a bullet. Do not sacrifice your mental health to stay friends with this selfish woman. Get a lot of space from her. She is clearly the type to keep you hooked to her emotionally if you stay in contact with her. Staying friends with her will only benefit her, as she does not want to give up your emotional support. However, this will harm you because it will keep you hooked on her. Do you really want to be her emotional support ex while she starts pursuing men to impregnate her? Honey, just walk away. You can't salvage this friendship. Either it's done forever and you will be torn up as she moves on, or you will be the side piece forever. If you end things and aren't there are 2 options for her, and you get over the ended relationship, or she realizes that's a reason she is not actually committed to. Best case scenario is she says what she means. Worst case, she's been cheating with men and had a pregnancy scare would 100% be an excuse why she came up pregnant after you break up. Seen it happen too much. I'm AFAB, non-binary, asexual, biromantic. She was dipping her toes in the sapphic water and now wants to keep you near in case a man breaks her heart. Back way up. Protect your heart.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.